So today I've managed to get a few hours away from the farm, mainly because I want to try and get some things done in the garden. It's still ridiculously windy. I didn't think it needed to be quite this windy, but I'll be the first to say I've let everything slip here, and I'm sort of hiding in the summer house because I did see some of my neighbours in their garden and they were pushing at where the chicken hut is. So if I show you, over in the corner I have a triangular thing. That's where the chickens are, and unfortunately when we put it there we didn't really think about it, and I can't get round it, and so the back corner is absolutely covered in bindweed, and obviously they must be trying to stop it from coming into their side, which I totally understand. At the same time I feel bad because I've not managed to keep on top of it, and I want to move the chickens from where they are. I don't like them being in there. But again, that's a job that I'm never going to get round to doing, and it's a job I can't do on my own. So what I'm wanting to do is, I have a new tomato grow house that I'm wanting to put up. I can't decide if I actually want to put it in this corner where this one is, and move that maybe inside the summer house, or maybe even to over here. I did used to have the grow house. You can see the frame of it is there. But unfortunately that tree, whatever that is, pushes against the back of it, and it's also, if it rains, I don't think it's ever going to rain again, but if it does rain, because it's got a flat roof, the water just sits on top. I don't know if I'd be better off getting a new cover for the peaked one, then at least the water runs up, and getting that put in that corner. There's loads of plants that are about dead and stuff like that because I've just not managed to keep up on top of watering, or they've just been snapped off in the wind and things like that, so I need to have a real good sort out. I'll probably put my earphones in, listen to some music, I might put you on a time lapse, and just get on with a few hobby jobs. So I've just cleared away all the plants out of this corner and taken all the plastic off of it. So because the wind comes straight down here and it just howls down here, these plastic frames, they're just not quite built to last. I mean, this will probably cost about 15 quid from Wilko's back in the day. So I've had it quite a few years, so it's probably done quite well, and the staging itself is fine. A bit wappy, but the actual physical thing is okay. It just needs something. I need a new plastic cover to go in it, but whether I'll be able to find one or not is another story. So it might be like one that would fit, so it might be that I end up using the frame maybe in the summer house, or if heaven forbid I get a greenhouse up and running, we'll do that. But at least I've taken it apart. I've found quite a few plants that have died because they haven't been watered, or they've fallen over or something like that, and I'm not being able to see because the ties that held the thing on the front had come apart. Well, they've just perished because they're only made out of material. I haven't been able to open it fully because it just blows down all the time. So I've had a real, and because I couldn't get to it as well, because I have all these in front of it, so I've just had a real job trying to keep on top of it. Keeping on top of stuff is sort of the story of my life, really. So I'm going to try and clean and sweep out this corner, and then we'll bring the tomato house across and I'll put the new cover on that. And then I have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and potentially 5 tomatoes that can go in it. It isn't they aren't the biggest spaces in the world, so I might, well, I don't know, they're not in massive pots, so we might be able to work with it, and then I just might be able to salvage a few tomatoes this year. But realistically, this year's growing season on the farm, as on in the garden, has been a complete disaster. I just want to show you how cute this little travel mug is that my nana got me for my birthday, and it even has a Valley Black nose on it. This is my first time using it, so I made a coffee. Oh god, something blew over then. I made a coffee in the Tassimo machines. This is a law macchiato. I did put a bit extra milk in that I just warmed up in the microwave. And yeah, So I've brought some of my tomato plants down into here. I lined it with some empty compost bags. I'm not really sure why I've done that, but it just felt like the right thing to do. Now some of these, oh great, now my neighbours put in there. I haven't staked up at all, so I dread the sort of state they're going to be in when I try and fasten them up, because they've sent out so many. Like this one sent out 3 stalks on a tomato. I've never seen that on a tomato before. I have one's a red cherry in here, and I don't know what, because I was short on space I planted 2 of them for each top nearly because I wasn't convinced about how good they'd be. So what I'm going to do now is try and take some of the excess foliage off and get them staked up. So I've discovered that one of these tomatoes is really leaning, and I think I've unfortunately broken it when I've tried to straighten him up. Let this be a lesson to everybody: don't let your tomatoes get leggy. I have seen people sellotape tears before and they've been alright, so we may try that just to see, because it isn't a bad plant. And it has got some trusses on, so I haven't got it at a very good angle at all. I'm just trying to tie it in desperately. I don't know whether I would have been better off putting the cover on first rather than bringing these in, but time will sort with the essence. So I'm going to try and take some of these excess bits off, put my gloves back on, because tomatoes are dreadful for staining your hands. I bet that was entertaining to see. You should have seen me when I first started doing it. However, I'm now very concerned of the wind. I'm going to pick it up and blow it away. So I'm going to have to try and weight it down. Fuck. I'll have to figure out how to bleep that out. So it's up. I've weighted it down with them 2 plastic tubs there. One of those is meant to be full of onions, but obviously with the drought they've all shriveled up and died. I am very concerned that it's going to blow away, and unfortunately there's nothing I can really anchor it to. I've put a brick either side, one at the back, and I might have to put some in the front, but I still have at least 2 more tubs of tomatoes to go in there. It's just so windy. Look at it. And it's like this all the time now. No wonder gardens get battered. I really feel like I need to plant like a big tree or something. I'm hoping if we get my greenhouse and put it there, it might just block a bit of the wind coming down here. We'll see. So I've got my finished product, which is 1, 2, 3, there's 4 tubs of tomatoes. Each one does have 2 tomato plants in it. God knows if we'll get any tomatoes actually off them. There are a few that are already setting fruit. There's some little cherries in there, so I might get a few, but I just think I've let the weather get to them a bit much. I've also, because I thought there was another tomato plant, then when I looked at it, it was just no good, so I've brought in 2 of the peppers. So these were mixed peppers that were brought on our market stall, kindly donated by somebody, but they didn't say what they were, so they didn't sell very well. So I brought them home, tried to sell them at the bottom of the drive just as like a lucky dip, and any that didn't sell I've kept. And amazingly, like, look at this one in here. Look at that. And there's another one in here. So I gave some to John to take to his mum, and she's put them in their greenhouse. And then these have just been left in the summer house. I potted them up, and they're doing quite well. So I mean, I haven't a clue what they are. They might be red hot, they might blow your head off, they might not be very nice, but you know, I've got them, so we'll see what we do. I had thought the wind had died down, but it's still blowing a little bit. So I don't know whether it's better to leave it open or to shut it down. It's weighed down with bricks and then 2 tubs of soil, and I might put, well, I'm planning on re-barricading it in with these plants, which doesn't make it easy for me to water. I'll get to, but I'm hoping at least if this storm just passes, then I've filled up my bag of all the offcuts from the tomatoes, and I want to try and cut, there's some brambles and stuff there that I want to cut back, some nettles and things. Then whether I start doing with the bindweed in the corner, which I really think I ought to do, but I also want to try and go down the side of the summer house. But first I'm going to go have some lunch, and I'm going to pop this camera on charge because it's now telling me it's running out of battery. Now excuse the downstairs toilet and the mess in here, but I just want to show you this is my proudest plant of the moment. This is an indoor plant, my plumbago. I've had it for quite a few years now, about 5 or 6. Every winter I try my best to kill it off, and this is the best it's ever been. It has just flowered constantly this summer. I'm so pleased with it, and it has to be my favourite shade of blue. I just love it. I mean, the idea is that's its big pot that I'm going to plant it into once it's finished flowering, and then it really wants to live in it would be nice if it was in the summer house over summer, and then bring it into the house in winter, because it's a conservatory plant really, and they have it at Scampston in the big conservatory there, and it's one of my favourite things. I just don't think it's quite warm enough in my summer house for it, and obviously I would need to turn the summer house back into a summer house rather than it being used as sort of a semi-greenhouse / dumping ground, which is what it is currently. So it's 3:30 now. I left my camera in the house charging while I've just tackled this. So I don't know if you could see in any of the videos, but basically this entire area was covered with plants in tubs. There was dead bits of stuff. There was bindweed coming over from this corner, taking over, and I also had, there were plants all along here, but not in that bit there. There was just the olive and the jasmine at the back. So what I've done is I've just swept everything out of here. I spent ages untangling bindweed. There was there was that, and then another one the same size next to it, and the other one was absolutely covered in bindweed. But I was really pleased because all of the plants that were on it, barring one, survived. So there are these in here. So I must have bought like a mixed shrub collection. Whether it was one of them, you get them as little plug plants and you pot on. And I hadn't done anything with them for ages, and I was a bit bothered that every single one had been choked. And actually, now that I've potted them up, they actually don't look too bad. So there's a hydrangea there, which has been flowering, which you couldn't see. Then I think there's 2 different viburnum tinus there. One's Eve Price, and I think one's just called Tinus. Then this is a Philadelphus, blue. I can't work out what that second word is, but that will be interesting to see. Now I thought this was dead, but actually there is a little bit of growth on it, and this is a Saboria. So you can see it's kind of got the almost ferny leaves there. And then this is a Lonicera. Oh, it's perfect. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is a kind of honeysuckle. So I'm really pleased. They were in little 9-inch pots, so I've potted them up into big pots with some nice compost, bit of wool in the bottom. So I'm really chuffed with them. Something quite nice I've discovered. I've potted up, that was one cucumber that's climbing over here, and he has created one very strange looking cucumber. But I've just put it in that big pot that did have some tomatoes in that weren't doing aught, so we shall see. Over here I have all my pelargoniums. Now these are extremely wild because I never cut them back last year, didn't really do anything with them. I thought they would have all died, so I'm really pleased that they're actually still living. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cut them back and see if I can actually take some cuttings from them this time. I might have let them go a bit too much, so they might not do, so I'll probably cut them back and see what they're like in a month's time. Then I have two, I think there's squashes down there, are pumpkins. They're going to go in that. There is a Tomarite bag there, and I'm going to do the same with them two as what I've done with the others. We'll see what happens. I had really high hopes, and obviously life's just got in the way. But I'm really pleased with how I've got on here. There's like all of this corners to sort out. This is my shepherdess rose, and she's still flowering. She's doing so well. She looks a bit sad. I have just deadheaded her, so I might give her a good feed. I need to really, she wants to be in the ground, so I do really need to decide where she's going to go. That is a dahlia that melts happened with. There's a euchre that's got some green stuff growing in it. God knows what that. It almost looks like chives, but it isn't. It's real hard. I don't actually know if it isn't the euchre itself and it's gone through a mutation. Then here I have a jasmine. I think that's another honeysuckle, and then that's an all gold raspberry. So really that wants to be in with the rest of the raspberries. Then there's two dahlias in there. This one I clearly haven't finished tying in. My olive. That is a bearded iris. That is a blueberry plant. Then there is the jasmine that Nana gave me years ago that I need to decide where to plant out. My passion flower, which actually has been flowering, actually no, it's a crematus, but my passion flower's in the house, in the summer house. It's looking quite sad, and it probably needs a drink, and it needs a bit more compost putting in, but I've about run out. But yes, I am really pleased with how we've got on. John's just messaged me. I don't think the wheat straw that he's baling today is yielding particularly well, so I think he's a bit disappointed with that. But look at the flower on my aubergine. It's got a flower on it, which is really exciting. So there's one, two, yeah, there's two aubergines. I think they're both ones that I grow. Then I've got these very sad, these are the last of the 3 peppers, not very sad. There's some more peppers that I think have gone long past the time when I could do anything with them. So yeah, so I might finish off them and plant these out. So my idea, whether or not it happens, is another story. This is my herb tray that I want to put nearer to the house. So there's this monstrous tree. Every year I cut it back, every year it comes even more. But my idea was I was going to turn this raised bed into where I grew my squashes and pumpkins. It's completely overtaken with grass, with weeds, with brambles. So I don't really know if I'm actually going to do that, or if I'm just going to, I mean they're in these deep plantings, I just don't think they're suitable really. I mean these 3 look good. That one looks extremely sad. You know, they're putting on really healthy green growth, and they're sort of wanting to trail. I'm really pleased with that hanging basket. It looks lovely. And I have some pots under there. The idea is they catch any of the drips. The hanging basket that most people see as they come in, oh look, there's a kitten, the world's biggest kitten, is this one, which isn't really doing very well. The clear army looks really nice. I don't know, the vision kind of didn't quite do it. And then there's Mara cat sleeping by the front door. Oh, look at that. You showing her your belly? There's a lot of belly to show. So this is the side garden. It's sort of the front garden really, but I call it, it's the side of the house. This enormous thing, I'm hoping my dad's going to come down and help me chop it down. Ah, there's another tree growing there. That's the viburnum tinus that I've planted. There's one peony, two peony, there's two echinops I think they are. I think I sowed the seeds for them. Like, there are meant to be some perennial ground cover in here, and some of it has survived, such as this, but it's just the ground elder just comes all the time. There's a bit of creeping thyme down there, another tree, and my yellow buddleia. I planted this, and it is nice. It kind of gets overshadowed by this. Oh, I can hear him meowing. I wonder where it's coming from. Obviously this is a volunteer clematis that's taken this over. Not really ideal, but I just don't have the time or the energy to deal with it. Luna! Luna! Hello! Come on, little black puss. Luna! I do kind of think a nice like archway would look really cute there. You're having a way, charming. Oh, please don't check me up, kitten. I have a massive problem with ants in this lawn because it's been so dry. I can't use nematodes on them. I'm hoping to get some beans. We've set a lot of flowers. I'm hoping that isn't scratching that window. I mean, if it does scratch that window, and if it breaks it, it might force our hand. I'll have to check out the bank loan for that. And this is the other basket. Unfortunately, it's been extremely wind battered. Nobody likes kitten, do they? I like kitten. A good boy. So, I think if I do these pumpkins, I might just have to... I might pull that one along. Oh, sorry, you can't really see. I might... If I move that, and then if I do them there, I think that will probably do. What it's going to have to do.